What is up, everybody? Joe Everest, fence expert, here to recap episode 5 of season 1 of Unhinged. Now, if you guys have been following along at all, you know, it's a great story that's unfolding. We're learning lessons. Matt the Miracle's teaching us a thing or two. Speaking of Matt the Miracle, this can't be a recap without the one and the only Matt the Miracle. What's up, buddy?
How you doing, pal?
Doing well, doing well.
Episode 5. Can you believe it?
Oh, no, we're over halfway. We're past the halfway mark.
We episode 5, we introduced the Runzas.
Yes,
and that is a thing in Lincoln, Nebraska. We have a store in Lincoln. It's called Runza, and you can get Swiss mushroom Runza, cheese Runza, and what it is it's like a pocket of bread with beef and cabbage inside, ground beef and cabbage inside. They're actually really, really good. So that's a thing. Once again, we are giving a little bit of love to our state of Nebraska here.
Sure.
We've introduced the Runza, the chili and
Seminoles,
a Busch Light beer. So we're giving a little bit of love to some Nebraska traditions.
We're learning about some Nebraska culinary specialties.
I love it.
We start off. Obviously, we're still trying to find Lucky Pickett. We're not sure. You're not sure where he's gone. You know, if you guys watched the live for the last episode, episode 4 of season 1, we're learning a little bit though. So we found a diagram, a massive board just with push pins and string all over it. Yep. And now here's one thing is I'll have to go back and re-listen to it because I thought the mayor was an ally, but it was listed as an ally. But now we were just introduced to a tape that maybe not an ally.
Yeah, basically the mayor said, "Know your place."
Yeah,
I'm running this town.
Well, and I'm going to win whatever the cost.
Yep. Yeah, definitely not an ally.
No, not an ally. So now, we've got Scarecrow Tech. We're trying to figure out. Billy's still building fence out there, but now we're thinking. Well, we also have the sheriff, which we were suspecting him for a little while, but then. I think he's off the suspect list.
Yeah,
right?
I don't think he's part of the kidnapping or taking away of Lucky. Hey, but I also know that Jackson got us up to. We got us up to 8 posts set just by like part of the day or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So we're making some headway out on our job site.
That's right. Well, and we kind of start off right around there, right? Where Billy's out on the job site. Now, Scarecrow Tech continues to be kind of mysterious about what's going on out there because overnight there's a trimmer or something and 1,000 feet of fence just was done with, destroyed. So we're already behind because the deadline got pushed up. Right. Yep. So we already feel like we're behind and we just lost 1,000 feet of fence. And Billy didn't handle that very well.
He got a little irritated, which, by the way, it happens.
Sure.
I am guilty. I have blown up on the job site. I have done the screaming and yelling, especially when I was younger. Oh, my gosh. I was such a hothead. And I would just freak out.
Sure.
With age, I've matured nicely and I've calmed down. It's been a long time since I've actually blown up. Now I'm more of a matter of fact, I have this thing in our office where, especially when on Mondays when we have new hires, so we have orientation day now. We've made new hire orientation day a big deal here in our company. But I always go in and I slam the door. And everybody jumps, and I just start laughing because when I was younger, I used to slam the door because I was upset. Now I slam the door for fun. It's just one of those weird things living in the world of Matt Warner.
Sure.
But I will tell you, the business portion of this episode is loving on your guys and taking care of them. And those field guys, man, they're the ones out there in the heat, the cold. the rain, the mud, the dry. I mean, they're the ones out there grinding it, and we have to, as business owners and as supervisors or even foremen or project managers, we have to recognize that those are the guys that get the jobs done.
Yeah.
We have to have admin. We have to have HR.
Yep.
We have to have accounting. We have to have all those things. But without those guys out there doing what they do in the field, it's all for nothing.
Sure. Yeah.
So we have to love on them. And I believe, it's funny. Before we started this recap, you were talking about he had Matt the Miracle on speed dial.
Yeah.
and you know what? I didn't even realize that you even said, I don't think there is speed dial anymore.
I don't think speed dial is a thing anymore. Yeah.
You go to your favorites and you just hit the send. That's what it used to do, right?
Yep. Yep.
But Joe, you remember the phone that used to go, shh.
Oh, the rotary.
And so we've come a long ways. I love the sound effects that they do have in there. And I'm old enough that I didn't even realize that you don't hear the beeps anymore. So
yeah.
That was kind of funny. Good touch on the sound guy.
Yeah. So Billy blows up on the guys, heads to a hardware store because he's going to need more. Now, this is a heck of a hardware store because it's got just anything and everything you need. It's like it's the best ever.
Poor Soft.
Oh. Well, not poor Soft, not this time. Well, we really thought so. He gets there and Softy's having a moment, right? Yeah. He's being a softy, and but he was watching. It was a puppy video.
Yes,
it was a puppy video. So
they clean him up and they give him a home.
Tears of joy.
Yeah. I love it.
But yeah, on the way there though, Matt the Miracle is having a call in, right? So he says, "Hey, give us a call." And so Billy thought, "What the heck?" Called in there. And he got an attitude adjustment a little bit, not in a bad way, but just maybe he saw things differently.
Yeah,
right.
Some constructive criticism we call it here at Empire. And it's funny. I just had this talk with my fab shop. So I brought in all the guys just on Friday, and I just said, "Hey, everybody, come in here real quick." And I showed them a picture of a pole that failed. Now it wasn't ours. Sure. It was one of our friendly competitors, but the pole failed. And I was showing them how dangerous it is because it pierced the field. And but I also told them, I said, listen, this is why it's so important for us to accept constructive criticism. And I said, there's two major parts to constructive criticism for it to be delivered properly. Now, this is something I've learned just probably in the last 4 to 5 years. When we see something that's wrong, if we end the statement with a question, it softens the blow.
Sure.
So what I am trying to teach my guys is we have to point out when a weld is bad.
Yeah.
And we can't take offense. And us, especially men, we are very arrogant on we do something. We don't want anybody to tell us we didn't do it the best.
Yeah.
So what I told the guys on Friday, and it's so weird that we have this recap going on because I literally just pulled the guys in and I stopped everything. I stopped the shops, which, by the way, one thing I've learned in business is we as business owners or people with authority in our companies, we have the power to do this.
Sure.
Most of the time we're too scared to do it.
Yeah.
So we have to be willing to say, everybody stop what you're doing. Come here. And literally my guy said, everybody? I said, yes, everybody. I want everybody to come here. Learning moment. Look at these pictures. This scares me. And what also scares me is I know that you guys don't like to point out when somebody else is doing something not up to snuff. So we have to be willing to say, hey, this doesn't look very good. How can we do better? Or we could say, hey, I don't like when we're unloading these poles because I see a pinch point. How can we unload them better? End it with a question and it softens things. And I'm telling you, it works, Joe. This is a leadership trait that I picked up actually from a good friend of mine. Because when I was younger, I was a hothead, and I would just tell people, "Hey, that sucks."
Sure.
You can't say that, because what it does then is it puts up a wall.
Yeah.
We don't want to put up a wall. We want to have constructive criticism that pushes the progress forward to a better product.
Yeah.
So it has to be, for example, maybe your guys are putting something in a box and getting ready to ship it, or palletizing the wire, and the wire keeps falling off. It's, hey, our customer isn't going to like this.
Sure.
How can we stack this better?
Yep.
How can we, or hey, can we get a bigger pallet? Or just end it in any kind of question, because then it stimulates an answer back, and it doesn't put up that wall right away.
Well, and that makes sense, because I mean, we're all on the same team.
Yes.
Right. So we're all is Team Empire, Team Ozark Fence, Team Jackson Fence, whomever. We're all on the same team, right? And it makes sense not to turn that into like a adversarial, environment, because no one wants to work in an environment like that. No. We all want to work in an environment where, we all do good work and we're known for that, but also we're there to support each other. And right. So by asking the question, it brings them onto the same side, right? Like, hey, this is a problem. We've identified it, but let's all gather around that problem or the riddle and help solve it, right? Exactly. We'll all figure it out.
Exactly. And show some grace. Sure. Just because the weld isn't very good doesn't mean that they're a terrible welder. Sure. Maybe it was the heat on the welder wasn't working right. Maybe it was out of their control. So let's explore it and let's try to figure out better. But give some grace. And I believe Matt the Miracle even says you have to love on your guys and show them some grace. And so then he ends up offering to take them out for dinner. And I'm telling you, you want to make a connection. The guys love to go out to dinner with you. They do. And or even a late lunch. I love late lunches, a 2 or 3 o'clock lunch where we can take an hour and I can dive in and I can learn more about who they are, what they like, or their hobbies, or do they like boating? Do they like fishing? Do they like hunting? Do they like doing puzzles? What is it that they like to do? Now we're building a relationship with our guys.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and again, all in the same team. Right, and it makes them feel valued and part of that team as well.
And that's what this episode is about. And you can see the transformation when he goes back out there and he's talking to Jackson. He's like, "Holy cow, you already have 8 posts in since I left? That's awesome." He's like, "Yeah, we're rock and rolling. And by the way, the guys are excited for dinner tonight."
Right.
Yeah. And the one guy says in the background, "I'm going to get a filet mignon."
Yeah, a fillet. Yeah.
So
he's looking to get a Salisbury.
We're not going to a steak restaurant. We're going to go down to what's the name of the restaurant? Jerry's.
Yeah, sure. The cafe.
Yeah, the cafe. So we're just going there. So,
but that's the thing is it doesn't really matter where you go, right? No. It matters that you go, but it doesn't really matter where you go.
Exactly.
And it's just treating the guys, and here's a couple $100 bill, right? And and then Billy makes the point, like, worth every penny.
Every bit.
Yep, absolutely. So we're making good progress on the project, right? Oh, it's funny. So the AI even gets days off. The AI gets vacation
on an island on a server.
Yes, a server in Cancun or something like that.
Yeah, I love that. Oh my gosh, that is hilarious.
Oh, but so we're getting fence done. We're also learning some good lessons. What's funny is so when Billy goes to call Jackson, who does he call? He looks it up on his contacts as fence nemesis.
Yeah.
Calling fence nemesis or something like that.
Yeah, that's great.
So maybe not nemesis anymore. So Billy comes back and he just tells the guys, like, listen, sorry, I blew up. You didn't need that. You didn't deserve that. Sorry about that. And he tried to give an awkward high five. Give me some skin up top.
Yeah. But, and that's just eating a little bit of that humble pie, I think is so important for your company, for your crew, for your team. to recognize that,
Yeah.
and that's a big step. I mean, he took this transformation really quick, which
Sure.
I guess we do only have 3 episodes left, so he's
Yep.
got to get his act together, right?
But he's come a long way.
Yeah.
In 5 episodes, he's come quite a long way. He really resented town when he got there. He resented the project. He kind of resented the guys just not getting anything done. And now he feels like he's a part of the town, right?
Yeah.
He's got the project on the run, seems like. Now there's a couple things. So we learned another thing that Ben Post does. Ben Post is also a realtor.
Yes.
Just a man of many trades.
He is a serial entrepreneur, to say the least.
Right. So, but I think the listeners got a little bit of a hint because it seems like Billy might be onto something. Right? He said, "Hey, figure out who owned that 500 acres that Scarecrow bought that we're going to be fencing off. Like, let's dig into this. So maybe he's got a hint there, or he's got the whiff of something that he's on the trail of.
Right.
And then, like I said, so at the diner, bought the guys dinner, but then we're introduced to another recording. Now, the last recording, Lucky was getting ready to tell us he had figured something out in relation to it was like crop circles, right around when Scarecrow Tech showed up, and he had figured something out, but then the pizza showed up. So we're kind of cliffhanger there. Now we're finding out, or we had a recording from when he went to meet the mayor. Mayor is not an ally at all. And like we said in the beginning, she said she will win at all costs.
Yep. So it's going to be interesting to see because we didn't find out in this episode who owned the land before Scarecrow Tech. So that's going to be a big clue of possibly who hijacked or kidnapped or whatever you call it took Lucky. So
maybe, but we're thinking about the mayor though, because if it was a heated race, maybe mayor had something to do with it. We're not sure. But we're getting fence done. We're learning some life lessons here about each other. No longer nemesis. Nemesis. Is
enemy.
Yeah.
No longer an enemy.
Same team.
Now they're buddies. And that is so key. You and I were talking a little bit about a partnering, and the whole idea of this came from me saying I love working with my fellow fence guys. I learn from them. They learn from me. We work together. And I've hired several fence companies to team up on big fence jobs. It really does work. You have to set a clear expectation. And sometimes you even you can do what they call a joint venture, a JV, where you do a joint venture. It's literally a contract that you write and you set clear expectations and you go to work. It works in the industry. And I love teaming up with fellow fence companies. I've done it a ton. I've even had fence owners come to me and say, Matt, why would you do this? I'm like, well, it makes sense. You're right down the road. We are really good at netting. You're right there. You're really good at fence. You're better at fence than we are. And it's amazing how well it can work.
Yeah. Well, and there's some things that just take a local touch. Yeah. Right. It's knowing where to go for this, or who to drop a permit packet off to, or whatever it is.
Yep. Exactly.
So we're not all nemesis. Right? No. Nemesis is.
We need to get along. We need to work together. We need to help each other. There's so much to learn from each other.
Well, and the pie is so big that all we need is a piece of it. You can't eat the pie by yourself. You're gonna need help, right? So you might as well share the piece of the pie and understand that it's big enough to go around.
I love it. So that's pretty much this episode. Now I will tell you, the wife, what's her name?
Waverly.
Yeah, which is named after my hometown here. Yeah. She doesn't. Wasn't there a brick thrown through the window?
Oh, that's right. At the very end, he's on the phone with Waverly, telling her about the recording he just listened to. And at first, he thought someone was giving him some investing advice. Stop, invest, don't invest.
Yes.
But they had to flip the brick over, and it's actually an ing. Stop investigating.
You noticed she didn't miss a beat. She didn't even care about he almost got hit by a brick, right? Just
Yeah.
turn the brick over. Silly. Yeah, so
she's living vicariously through him on this mystery, and she's like in a mystery club. So this is what she does.
She loves it. Yeah, it's hilarious. And you know what? That's what makes us a little bit humorous, is that just the silly little things here and there that the writers put together, and by all means, Brad gets all the credit for putting this together. Basically, all I said was, "Heck yeah, let's do it." And invited you along for the ride, so we're here having fun listening to the story, and I really hope that that the listeners out there are maybe grabbing their kids, and my end goal is that once we get all 8 episodes out, is that families will plow through this together on a trip or whatever it is, and say, "Hey, this is something fun. Put your screen time down.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's listen to this and let's have a little bit of fun listening to the story."
Yeah. Well, and I think it's something that all ages will get something different out of.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't think my kids are going to really care that the fence gets built. Right.
No.
But they're going to want to know, like, what's screaming out in the woods that we've heard, what's causing these tremors, what's going on, where'd Lucky go? But then also the adults can probably get some learning moments out of this, right? The Matt the Miracle maybe speak to them also through the episode. So a little something for everybody.
I love it, Joe. I think it's fun.
I do too. I appreciate you bringing me along for the ride.
Yeah, it's good.
So that was episode 5. Of course, if my math is correct, the next one we're going to talk about is episode 6.
Yep.
Now, Matt, I'm proud of you because you held yourself back. You didn't even listen to episode 6. We're just going to leave that one over there.
So luckily, I'm getting old enough that my memory's getting bad enough that when I did listen to episode 6 3 or 4 weeks ago, I've already forgotten it. And I just said, I told Melanie, I am not listening to episode 6 because I will blow it. My whole family says, don't tell Dad about a surprise party because he'll ruin it. I find out at the last minute and everything because I just forget these things. So.
Well, yeah, and it's not like you mean to, right? It comes up in conversation like, oh yeah, we'll be over at your place on Saturday, right?
I'll see you. We're all coming over, right?
Yeah. So what's Saturday? Wait a minute. But no, proud of you. We kept it all in. We didn't give away any secrets for episode 6. So if you're watching and you're hoping for that, you're just going to have to wait. Gonna have to wait. So episode 6 comes out Tuesday morning. So, and again, I don't know what time, but it's just ready to go when I get it in the truck in the morning. So sometime before 6 a.m. So wherever you're at, it's probably going to be loaded Tuesday morning.
I love it.
So best way to find it, we talked about this last week, or the way I found it was I searched. You don't just search Unhinged. There's all sorts of things that have Unhinged in there. Unhinged Lucky Picket. Wherever you listen to podcasts, should pull that thing right up.
It does.
You can follow it. You can just tell it, hey, drop these things in there. I want to listen to them.
Yeah, and if you like it, give us a thumbs up and leave us a review because we want this. We want to do another season, so we're going to have season 2, and we want to see how the listeners enjoy it.
Absolutely, and let's do this. So we're getting far enough along. Why don't we start dropping comments down below on where's Lucky? What happened to Lucky? Is Lucky around, or what do you think? Where's Lucky? What's happened to him? Drop a comment down below. We'll all start formulating the what happened and who done it.
I love it.
All right. Matt, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on. Guys, appreciate you guys watching or listening at home. If you're listening to this on the podcast, you can also watch it happen sometimes live. We did it live last week, but you can watch this happen and participate in the conversation in the comments below. You can find the video on pretty much any video platform, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever else you watch video, there's a good chance it's going to be there. Drop a comment. We'd love to interact with you guys on a week-to-week basis. All right, with that being said, Joe Everest or Jackson, you can call me either one, Matt the Miracle, reminding you, good fences make good neighbors, and we'll see you next week.